Hello, my name is Anne, and welcome to a Quilty Fun podcast. Yes, I said Quilty Fun episode, however many it is. I don't know where I'm up to. I've had lots of requests to bring back the quilting, and as I have now got my quilting bug back, I thought I would do this again every Friday. So we'll have knitting on Mondays, and Fridays will be quilting and maybe a bit of cross stitch thrown in, depending on my mood. But yeah, it's fun to get back to quilting. I definitely had a hard time over the winter quilting, which seems a bit bizarre really, but because you can probably tell, I'm in my basement of my home and it's not 100% finished down here. My ceiling is still all open beams and stuff. There's no carpet on the floor because we have hardwood, but I find it very chilly down here in the winter time. And and it's dark because it's a basement. So I didn't really enjoy being down here much in the winter. All I wanted to do when we have tons of snow outside, because don't forget I live in Canada, is to sit and knit in front of the fire and the TV. So the quilting kind of took a giant back step. And then I don't know what it was, whether it was the first lovely big sunny day we had in like April or May or something. And I thought, oh, it's nice down in my basement. It's cool down here. So yeah, I'm back quilting again and loving every minute of it. Now, because we've been so far behind, or I've been so far behind, and you probably can't even remember what I was working on back in December, I thought we'd go over a little, where am I up to? Even just for my own sake, so I can see what I have to do and what I need to finish and what I have to catch up on. So we're going to do that. But first of all, I want to show you, so stay tuned. And if you don't want to see this next part, then skip over. I'm going to show you how I put together my clue 4 of the Village Green quilt by Tobyknits. It's a mystery. It's a puzzle mystery. And I'm doing the colorway Daffodil. If you don't know what a puzzle mystery quilt is, they are so much fun. And there's a new one just coming out. I think it starts in June. So go over to their website, find a colorway that you love and get it quick before they run out. I will leave a link below, and there is a code you can use with my name. I'll put it here. And you'll get a free gift with your first clue package. I don't know what your gift is, but I know you get a gift. So anyway, go and check it out. It's a phenomenal. I love doing these quilts. They don't look like a regular quilt block when you finish sewing that month's clue, because they come to your door monthly in a small package. And so each month you make 1 or 2 pieces for that month. Everything is pre-cut. And then at the 10th month, you get your bindings, your border fabric, and the instructions on how to put it all together. And that's where the mystery gets solved, because it's like a puzzle. It's like a jigsaw puzzle. So you take this piece and that piece, and you put them together, and you're like, oh, okay. And you make a really awesome quilt. So anyway, I'm doing the Village Green, which I think is now, I don't think you can get any more of this. I think they've sold out. They sell out really quick. Usually like by clue 3, they've sold out. So that's why I'm saying get in now on the next one, which is called Carnival. But anyway, so let's go and have a look at me putting together clue 4 of the Village Green in the colorway Daffodil. So it'll give you an idea what it's like. Okay, it's now time for us to do clue number 4 of the Village Green puzzle mystery from Tobyknits. My colorway, which is Daffodil. Very pretty. It's got little bears all over it. And this is what clue 4 is going to look like. And we're going to make 2 of them. Now you can see it doesn't look like a standard quilting block, because this is where the mystery comes into it. At the end of the 10 months, we are going to put all these pieces together. So it'll tell us take clue 4 and attach it to clue 8 or clue 6 or 1B in such a way that we then end up with a fabulous quilt. One of my favorite things to do, it really is. And they're so easy to put together because they're pre-cut for you. So it comes like this in all little pre-cut pieces. So let's start putting this other block together. Your instructions will tell you to do 2 of everything. I've already done 1, so I'm now going to make the second one and show you how that works. So the first thing we're going to do, and again, this is why you need to keep this handy, because it tells you on here what your clues are labeled, because our instructions are going to tell us we need to take 2 E triangles and attach them to an A. So here's my A. I'm just going to move these out the way so it's easier for you to see. Here's my A and here's my E triangles. So we are going, actually, let me do it on here. It's easier all together. Let me put that there so you can see, and it's going to go like that and like that. Always check your instructions to make sure you've got them all rotated in the right direction, because that really helps. And a lot of the triangles have already been snipped for us, so that also makes it super easy. So let me get my pins, and they want us to put the first one on the top. So we just fold them over like this. Make sure they're all lined up at the corners. I'm going to stick a pin in. And then I'm going to go over and sew that. And unfortunately, you can't see me sewing. And then I'm going to press it. And the way I'm going to press it, now it's been sewn with a 1/4 inch seam. It's going to be pressed up that way. And you always should follow the instructions on which way to press, because when you put all the pieces together, either in this block or later, then all your seams should match. So I'm just going to give this a quick press. And so here it is, nice and pressed with the seam going the way it's supposed to. So now we get to join this one to here. And here's what you'll notice. Now it matches because of our snipped corner. And again, I will pin that and this is what we have got left. And I've got some strands of thread here. So there is that little piece, and you're going to make 4 of these. I just made the 1 because I've already made the rest, but you're going to make 4 of those. Then you're going to take the D, which is this one, making sure our triangle is facing down, and the B, and it's going to go like that. So again, I'm going to fold that over, making sure all my edges are aligned. Put 2 pins in this one, it's a little bigger. And I'm going to sew along there and then press it up to the dark. So it will get pressed that way with the dark on top. So there is this one now done. Now what you're going to do for section 5 is you're going to put this block on that side. So it will be slightly different on the other. But you're going to make 2 of those, and then you're going to make 2 for step 5 with the blocks alternating. So now what we have to do is attach this block and this block. So it will go like that. Then when you do the other side, it will be like that. But I'll show you what I mean in a minute. So to do this first block, what I want to make sure I do is I want this point and this point to match. Remember, this is all our 1/4 inch seam here. So I'm going to turn it over and turn it this way so I can see where I have my join. And I want to put a pin right here in that join. And then I'm going to bring it down and put my pin about 1/4 inch down in this join so that they are now together. So it's just sticking up right now. It's not doing anything. And I'll just pop it in like that. But it's not lined up. So I'm going to take that out and try that again. So we'll line it up first, making sure all of our pieces are joined. Now I'm going to do it again. And I'm going to put it in there and then into the join here. And then I can put a pin on this side and a pin on this side. And what I want to make sure when I'm sewing on my 1/4 inch seam, that should be 1/4 inch there. So it should hit right there when I'm sewing on the machine. You can see I sewed right on that point, so we should be perfect when I open this. So this is going to get done with this on the top side. And it'll open like that. And you can see that that matched perfectly. So I should go over and give that a... Okay, so now you have one going this way. And the other, so you're going to make 2 of them. And then this is the other one. So it's exactly the same, just these have been orientated differently. So now we're going to put those 2 aside and do the final little bit, which involves this. Basically is how it's going to look, like that. So we're going to sew this bit to this bit first. And again, these are all explained easily to you. So this bit to this bit, and then this bit to this. Now, because these are far enough away from each other that they don't impede, I'm actually going to pin them both at the same time and then sew them one after another. And they're going to be pressed into the middle. So let's go do that. So here is our piece sewn, and our seams are pressed in that way. And then we're literally just going to join this one to this one. And I never bother, even though some of it is directional, I don't bother to line it all up the way I want it to go, because I don't know at the end of the day which way the quilt's going to go. So I don't worry about whether my bears are all facing the right way or they're not. So now I'm going to sew right along there. And this is going to get pressed down to there. So that way. I heard this really cool thing, and I don't know if it works every time, but somebody said always press to the dark side. Press to the dark side. But I don't know if that works every time. But I have to say, for most of the time, it seems to. So there we have it, pressed to the dark side. So this is going to go like that. And then we're going to take our 2 pieces that we just did, making sure we have the right one, and one is going to go there, and this one is going to go there. And then I will make sure I line up these lines and line up these lines. So I will lay it together first with this on the top, and you'll see here, I don't know if you can see that, because we pressed that way and because we pressed that way before, they should now nestle into each other and not want to move. And there's this one at this end, and then this one here. And I will go and sew that. I want to make sure that one goes this way, actually, because it seems to want to go that way. All right. And this one, according to that, so here's our middle piece. So this one is going to go that way. Just give that a quick press. Like that. And so this one now goes there. Again, making sure we have all our blocks the right way. And hopefully these will nestle. Yes, they will. See, when you nestle them, they actually don't move, which is kind of cool. And there it is. We have our 2 blocks for this month. Ooh, there's a big old piece of fabric coming off there. So aren't they cute? So now basically what I do with them is I will fold them up like that, put them back in bag number 4, so that I'm ready for the next clue. So, is that not super easy? I mean, honest to goodness, it takes you like less than an hour to put these blocks together, and it's just really fun. Okay, so we've done that. So as you know, I'm working on that every month. Clue 5 is just being shipped. It may not have got here to Canada, to everyone who's in Canada yet, but the US, I think most of the people in the US have got their Clue 5. So I will do Clue 5 next week for you guys, so you can see what that looks like. But I thought I would show you, I have 2 things that I use while I'm quilting a lot. I have this, which is my quilter's journal, very useful. And then I have this gorgeous binder that I got, I think I got it from Watergirl Quilts, which is in Prescott, near to me. And it's a really nice binder. And inside this binder are all my patterns that I've printed for any ongoing things that I am working on. So I thought we'd jump between one and the other, and I can show you where I'm up to. So in the beginning of this book, you have your index where you can write down the quilts that you're going to be working on. And you can see quite a few of them I have done. I started quilting, what was the first one I did? May 2021. That was the very first, it was during lockdown. And that's when I started to quilt, believe it or not. I'd never quilted before. So this was a table runner I did, and I quilted that myself. It's not all that good, but you know. So that was that one. Then I made this gorgeous little free Oh My Stars quilt, and that's going to my beautiful granddaughter. And then I did, and so my the fun thing for me is to take the picture and put the picture in. I end up covering up some writing, but I don't care because I needed the picture. Then I made this one. Again, a free pattern. You'll notice a bit of a trend here. And then I did this one. And this is one of my favorites. This is in my trailer right now. And it's hard for you to tell. No, you can't see. But the print on there has little trailers on it. And this was a Fat Quarter Shop because I subscribed to the Fat Quarter Shop box for, oh gosh, over a year, I think. And that was a great way for me to start getting fabric as a new quilter because I had no idea there was such a thing as design of fabric and designers and all the rest of it. And, you know, quilt designers. I didn't know any of that. I was a sewer before. I sewed clothes. So to me, you just bought it off the roll and you didn't matter who designed it. You just liked the color. But so I started to get that book. Excuse me. My voice goes every now and again when I'm talking too much. It was great because it gave me ideas on the specific types of cuts of the fabric, like the fat quarters, the jelly rolls, the charm packs, all that kind of, I didn't even know that existed either. So that was fun. And then I did Bats and Booze. Oh my gosh, this was one of my favorites. It's actually hanging upstairs now, even though it's nowhere near October. But that was the first ever one I did of their mystery, because you'll notice I love mysteries, their mystery quilt-alongs, and that was from 2021. Then I did a garden path, which was one I did using 3 yards of fabric. So that was a really fun thing. And I picked up some fabric when I was out east visiting my son in Nova Scotia. And I made the quilt. Now, it's all made, it's all pieced, but it has to be quilted. So I have to show you that another day. Then the Olympia Puzzle Mystery was the next one. And that one is finished, completely quilted. I had that quilted at Taylor's in Brockville and another quilt shop I frequent. And that was given to my dad. Here's a picture of that quilt that I gave to my dad. You've probably all seen it loads of times. So I actually started that on August the 7th, 2021. And this was the first puzzle mystery quilt that I did. So of course, then every month for 10 months, we got a new piece of the puzzle to make, made it all. And I finished the quilt top itself August 16th, 2022. No, May 16th, 2022. So from August to May, that's how long it took each month to make the blocks. And then it sat for ages until I decided I was going to get it quilted. And was I going to try it? Was I going to send it to a long armer? What was I going to do? And then when I found out that tailors were doing long arming in their store, I thought, oh, okay, try it. Loved it. I love it, love it, love it. Great experience. And then I did the binding myself, sewed the binding on when I got the quilt back from Taylor's, and I gave it to my dad when he was here just visiting, and he loved it. The next one I did was this one, which was, again, a Fat Quarter Shop box quilt. So that was called Mon Chéri, and I made that for my husband for Valentine's Day. Then I did, which is hanging on this wall over here, another Cotton Cuts mystery. It was a spring one. They brought out a special little mini spring one. And if I can find a picture, I'll put it here. And that was tons of fun to make. I really enjoyed making that. And that went on for like 6 weeks, I think. 6 days. It was 6 days. Each day we got a new piece to do. That's right. Oh, yeah, that's right. That was so much fun to do. Then I made another Fat Quarter Shop box called Unraveled. And no picture. There's no pictures anymore. That's why I'm not showing you the book. Then I made Unraveled. And that was for my daughter-in-law, Caroline. Here's a picture of that one. And that was a lot of fun. That used charm packs, believe it or not. Then I made the quilter stand for Ukraine. which was again a free pattern. It's just a little one that hung in the window, and I quilted that myself with a decorative stitch on my sewing machine. And the back is just, I used the leftover fabric. And believe it or not, this was supposed to be a much darker, and it's very pretty. It's got like lemons or something on it. Very pretty. And I hung it in my front window in support of Ukraine, and it bleached it. Yeah, I had to take it out of the window because otherwise you'd end up with nothing to see, because that was supposed to be the colors. You can see. So I liked this. This was a free pattern from Pat Sloan, actually. She's a really good designer. So I did that in March 19th, 2022, finished it March 26th, 2022. Then I made a big block. I decided, Sean, I'm getting all my kids' names mixed up. My grandson Tristan, Sean is my son. My grandson Tristan, I wanted to make him a quilt that he could just snuggle under. And that one, I wanted one that he used to watch. I think it was some nursery rhyme show on the TV, and the kids would go into their bedroom and they had these big blocks of a quilt using big blocks, solid colors. So I wanted something like that. So I just went to Walmart and I just bought some kids fabric, you know, the way you do. And I made this big block quilt for him. And it was finished 47 by 55, and I used 8-inch blocks. I cut them into 8-inch. Well, they were cut bigger than that, but they became 8-inch by the time they were all sewn together. So here's a picture of how that turned out. Oh, this is so much fun. I hope you're enjoying this. I'm enjoying this. It's like going back over time. Then I did Beautiful Day Mystery Quilt. I loved that one. It was by Coriota. I started that April 2022. And each, I think, how many blocks did we get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6. But we had to make several of each block. I think that's how it worked. And that is finished. Love it completely. Here's a picture of it. But it needs to be quilted, just like the Nova Scotia one, and bound. So I'm still sitting thinking about that one. And I think I even have the backing fabric for it. I just haven't done anything with it. But now I know Taylor's does that long arming. Next was Duck Duck Goose. Now this is one from Taylor's, and it's a monthly block. And of course it started in April 2022, and I got 3 blocks done out of 6. And so, yeah, I haven't got any further on that one. And I love it because it involves applique as well. It's piecing and applique, and it's really super cute, and I really need to finish it. So it's going to be on my priority list to finish. I don't know if I have any pictures of some of the blocks. If I do, I'll put it here. But I can't remember if I took pictures of the blocks I had finished. I don't know. Then I started making a quilt for my other daughter-in-law, Megan, who lives in Nova Scotia. And I started that June 2022. And I got 4 of the blocks done. In fact, I think I've got more. What did I do? Oh, one moment, please. So these are the blocks. And this was using jelly rolls. And she loves gray. So this is, I just bought this fabric from Walmart, just cheap, like cotton. And the rest is, the jelly rolls are from the Celestial line. So this is how the blocks go. And I think there's 12 blocks altogether, and you have to put them together in 3 rows of 4. I have 2 complete rows completely sewn together. I just have to actually sew the last row together. And then I think I will quilt this myself, and I'll just use my walking foot and just do some echo stitching. I think that's how I'll do that one. but it's just been sat there for a year. So I need to get that one finished. Then I made a really cute, I got this fabulous book from Etta Sitar, I think her name is. And it's an applique book. And each month it's a different wall hanging that you can make for the wall. And I really love I don't even know if the book's up there. I think it is. Hang on a minute. No, it's not. Oh, it's probably in the box. It's probably in the box that I keep all the stuff in. But anyway, I did the first one and I made it in July. I made it in June 22nd. I finished it June 17th. I started it, finished it June 26th last year. And I made the one for July because it was nearly Canada Day and I wanted it. And I love it. And it's still hanging up in my living room. And my plan had been to make one every month. And I do, there's definitely loads of them I want to make and eventually switch out. That was the only one I did. Then I did Boo Crew in July of last year. And that is from the Fat Quarter Shop. And this one is finished. I started it July 12th. And again, it was a block of the month. Well, not a block of the month. And it was free. It's a free pattern. And it had a cross stitch go with it, which I did. And I think it was 6 blocks. And it's all finished. It has to be quilted. Bit of a theme going on here, don't you think? So here was last year's mystery from the Fat Quarter Shop. And I loved making this. This was the first time I made shapes out of the fabric. I love that cat. Don't you love the cat? So that was the very first time I'd made shapes, and that blew me away. I didn't know you could do that. So this is the backing. It's already, look, the backing's on, the binding's on. Not the binding, the batting's in there. I just have to sew it. And I'm not sure how I want to quilt that one, so that's why it's been sat there forever. Yes, I have to finish that. So that's 3 to be quilted so far. Have you noticed that? 1, 2, 3, yeah. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Or is that 4? I think it's 4. 1, 2, 3. There's a lot. Then I started the Design a Mystery from Fat Quarter Shop, which is a monthly thing. And I was in love with the fabric on that one. It's Nantucket Summer. And I loved it. So let me find this to show you. So this is how it will look finished. And I bought the finishing kit with this one, which was expensive, but it was lovely. And you made all these blocks here, these finishing blocks, while you waited each month for the actual Design a Mystery block. So it was a different designer who designed each one of these blocks. And over the course of 12 months, you got the block with the fabric. And then at the end of the whole thing, you're going to be able to put it together in this format. I have made, they just sent, 12 just came a week or 2 ago, last month. But for me, a week or 2, because it takes 2 weeks to get to me. And so what I did was, a lot of people who got the actual finishing kit. Once they had done like block 1 and they'd made all their finishing blocks, they put it all together in the strips and then eventually and sewed them as they went. So by the time they got to block 12, basically their quilt was complete. I didn't do that. I still have mine all in their perfectly beautiful blocks, just sitting there, and haven't sewn them together yet. And I didn't know really why. I had them on the wall for a while, and here's a picture of some of them done up on the wall in the order they're meant to go. But I just took them all off the wall and put them down. And I didn't know why I did that. And then I was looking on the group page, and I saw that one lady was doing Quilt As You Go. And I'd never tried Quilt As You Go. And this is going to end up being ginormous, this quilt. It's 80.5 by 80.5. It will fit on my queen size bed. That's if I haven't put a border on it. So I didn't know what to do, because again, it's this whole finishing it, because by the time you buy all the backing fabric and by the time you buy the batting and then you go and take it to someone to quilt for you, or you try to shove it under your sewing machine to quilt, it just gets expensive and it gets, you know, hard. So when I saw this Quilt As You Go, and what this lady did was she put her 5 blocks together in a row. So she sewed her row, but then she quilted that whole row 1 block at a time under her sewing machine. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's so much easier. You could even, if you wanted, if you didn't want this setting, for example. So I'm going to do this with the next one, because yes, I did order the next Design a Mystery, which is shipped or billed to me today. So I'm going to start the new one. I always say I'm not going to, but then I do. Again, put the word mystery in it. So what I'm going to do with that one is I will quilt each block, and then I will not use, I didn't buy the backing, the finishing kit with that, the new one I'm getting. So I will put it in my own setting, probably with some blocks and cornerstones, sashing and cornerstones for that one. And so that one I can actually quilt each block at a time. So that will be super easy under the sewing machine. Anyway, so that's this one. And I really do love it. And yeah, the other one I'm doing that I started in September the 2nd, 2022, got as far as 3 blocks, and then it was the winter, so I didn't do any more, is the kitchen, around the kitchen table. And this is a phenomenal, again, a mystery, but this was even better, because on top of the fact that it's a mystery block, you don't know what you're going to get from one month to the next, it is also a story behind the blocks. And she puts puzzles for you to solve. Like, it's super cool. It really is. And I'm really enjoying that one. Here's a picture of the first block and maybe some of the other blocks that I've done so far. I've done 1, 2, 3, and then I stopped, and then I've just done 4 and 5 in May. So those are done, and I like them. Then I started Scrappiness is Happiness and Socialites, which are 2 block of the months that are run by Fat Quarter Shop. Socialites I made, and these are the blocks. I don't know if you'll see this because they're in plastic. Oh yeah, you can. These are each block that we got each month to make. And I made the first 4. And then I stopped. And Socialites is now finished. Because these came out every week, and I found it really hard to keep up. And I will get back to it, because I love the fabric that I'm using for it, which is Love Notes. But as I say, I don't really know if that's a priority one. That one just might be a block to fill in when I'm waiting for something or just need a change from a particular quilt that I'm working on. And then Scrappiness is Happiness. I bought the book because I liked the book even before they came out with this quilt along. And what this is you cut all your leftover scraps of material from a project into certain sizes and keep them all in little bags, baskets, whatever. And then when you want to make a quilt, and in this quilt, this book, there was something like 30 projects you can make with the same block using scraps left over. So what they did for fun is they decided to take every block that's in the book and put it into a sampler quilt. So I have made this one. That's it. But this is ongoing still. And again, I have the book. I don't really need to do it at the same time they're doing it. I will eventually get to make it. My good friend Bonnie, who made this in like lickety-split, no problem time at all, she told me that they're such easy, nice blocks to make that it's definitely one you can do as a filler block in between doing something else, or do one while you're actually making another block, like throw, you know, which I thought was a good idea. Oh, sorry, I'm shaking the thing. So that was those two. And again, I'm not sure about socialites, if I'm going to keep on. I'm definitely going to do Scrappiness is Happiness, but I'm not really sure if I want to do socialites. I'll have to decide. Then last two to show you, we've been here a while already, is I started one called Christmas Time, and I can't remember when this one was. I feel like it might have been October, July or October, September, something like that. And again, it's a Fat Quarter Shop free pattern. And I've only done 2 of the 4. And it's a small quilt. It winds up small like that Halloween one I just showed you. It winds up that small. So it's basically a table topper or something you hang on the wall. That was Toby. And I have done... Let me see if I can show you them because they're right here in my... I keep all my projects in these. I have some larger ones and then these smaller ones. And each project, all the fabric, everything is in that. So let's see. I totally forgot how this went. Oh, now I understand. And they're not very big blocks. And again, they're these awesome little ones you put together like this. So this was the first one, our cup of cheer. Isn't that cute? And then this was block 2, which is, I think it goes that way, candies. These are hard to see because they're white on white. But that's candy. And then this is what it ends up looking like when it's finished. So there were my candy, and that was the cup. And then I have this block with 4 cards and this block with presents. And that's how that will finish. And I have them all cut, ready to go. Look at that, all cut, ready to go. I just haven't finished it. So that's getting finished because I want it for this Christmas. Thank you very much. And then finally is the new one that I'm going to be starting. And that's the Happy Halloween. And that is, let's see if I even have the first one here to show you. Yes, I do. So I printed this out today or yesterday. And this is going to be our first block, and then these 2. And this is free. Go to the website. It's free. Type in Haunted Halloween, and you get to make these. So if you've got your own Halloween fabric, go for it. Myself, I liked the fabric in this, so I decided to go with it. Now, what I'm struggling with is I started starching my fabric. So let's have a look at this fabric. So, background. Oh, little candies. Oh, do you remember these? Oh my goodness. And then stars, black stars. That's pretty. This is a funny color. Oh, I think that's one we use at the start here. It's almost like a pale orange. Oh, spiders. And they send you just what you need, I think, which is cool. Oh, these are pumpkins. This is going to be cool. More spiders. Oh, that's the same, but in black. Oh, more stars, but in orange. But it's a funny color, orange. It's almost like a peach. It's probably not showing as peachy to you. There's this one. Interesting. Oh, this is the binding. And then this is the backing. So you get everything in their little kit to make this entire quilt. So they came out with the first clue, and they come out every week for the whole month of this next month. So, but I don't know whether to starch it or just start cutting into it and using it. I'm pretty bad. They're not that big. It's just that there's such a lot of backing fabric, and maybe I won't starch the backing fabric. I'll just starch the other pieces. I don't know. But anyway, that's all my quilting stuff to tell you about. I hope you've enjoyed this tremendously long video. And I hope to get some quilting done this week. But again, I'm not sure if I should concentrate on one project for the week. What would you do? Like, I've got so many to finish off here. How many have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 to finish and 4 to quilt. I'm not going to worry about the quilting. We're just going to leave that for now. But I definitely want to start finishing some of these quilts off. So should I go with the one that's nearly finished and then finish it? Or do one each week? But that's not going to work because I got more than... It's quite the dilemma. Anyway, I'm going. I need a cup of tea now. I shall see you next Friday for another Quilty Fun. And we'll see where I'm up to. Okay, bye.